Previously on the Lad Bible's #1 drinks podcast.
Get your missiles out. No, don't do that.
You're going to get a sternly worded tweet coming real soon.
He's a fucking strawberry, and I'm a prune.
Everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Neutral Cider Hotel podcast. My name is Gabe Cook. I'm your host, and joining me as ever is the wonderful Grant Hutchison and delightful Martyn Goodwin. Shaman, coming up on the show today, we are doing an exploration of the world of fruit ciders. That's right. So expect a lot of fruit pun nits. It's starting already.
No.
I know, it's only going to get worse. So that's as good as it's going to get. But to wrap things up, Martyn is going to give us a lovely little game, probably one where he gets to put on an accent. But first, well, it's a pretty momentous day, because today is the day that I handed in my first draft copy of Modern British Cider.
Way!
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Well, actually, I didn't. I was supposed to hand it in. Today was the day that I was supposed to hand it in, and I'm not quite nearly there. So just a few more hours in the morning will set me fair. But gosh, this last week has been pretty intense. In fact, the last month has been fairly full on, and I'm really happy with how it's kind of coming together. Do you know what? It's nice. I'm well over the word count. There's going to be some serious slashing in the sub editing to come. It's going to end up being like 60,000 words of.
Fucking hell.
I don't know what that means, like in book terms.
Ciderology was 40,000 words to give you a.
Is there a glossary?
Well, there's not a glossary technically, but you know, sort of as an addendum, it's. Inside the actual chapter number 7 actually is Cider Lexicon. No, actually chapter number 6, which is not necessarily a glossary of all the terms used in the describing of all the various bits of cider making, but very specifically and pertinently to how to describe cider. You know, the look, the feel, the taste, the sensations, all those kinds of things, because that's something that cider really needs. You know,
I like the idea that the editors will go, "Oh, we're over the word count. Oh, he's got a whole chapter here on words. Take that out. Easy. Perfect."
Well, I mean,
totally.
Don't laugh. That's pretty much the exact same number of words as I need to lose. So, Gabe, do you need this chapter? Oh, kind of. That's, well, you know.
Gabe, was there anything you learned on the show that you used in the book?
Oh, that's a good question. No.
Okay.
Wow.
Asked and answered.
I actually forgot some things. Yeah. Oh god.
No, that's not true. No, that's not true. Yes, in terms of, there's a chapter all about the sort of trends, changes, wicks, about the fact that who knew that you could get a whole range of different products from different types of shops. You could probably get cider down a hardware store, for example. Who knew? You can get cider at B&M. I didn't know that B&M actually got a sold cider.
Savannah cider.
American listeners.
What's B&M? Like Costco, like Quick Save or Quick Mart.
Quick Save.
Quick Save.
That's fucking from the previous century or something, right?
Yeah, that was like a frozen food store.
Well, also you can. I have bought a pint of cider in a hardware store before as well.
That's right.
Okay.
Sorry.
God, do you want to go again?
Yeah. Name more shopping places that have gone out of business in America.
Pointed at him. Chaos. I am him.
I have actually bought a pint of cider in a hardware store before. Has anyone been to Dingle on the west coast of Ireland?
I have.
Right. Well, do you know? Have you been to the bar that is also a hardware store? It's literally 2 counters. You walk in. It's a shop on a high street. 2 windows. Door in the middle. Turn left. There's a bar. Turn right. is a hardware store. It's phenomenal.
The one place where you can get well and truly hammered.
Well, good night, everyone. That is as good as the show is going to get. No, it's not true.
Well done for playing that drum, Grant. Well,
yeah.
Thank you.
So if any words were to be lost from the book, it might have to be, unfortunately, in the shape of a few cider makers, because I did invite probably 140, 150 to contribute sort of product and content to get a few in. I've ended up going to be featuring 107 makers from across 47 different counties.
Are any of the makers in the book new to you from the pandemic, from the start of this whole new period of time?
Yes, very, very definitely.
Brilliant.
Oh, cool.
A handful of Cornish ones that I came across whilst living down that way. A great one called Gould from Grampound near Truro. And a fantastic one called the Crackington Cider Company from Crackington Haven on the north coast, quite close to where I was living. A beautiful. They do this vintage still 8.2. It was like an orange wine. It looked and it smelled and it tasted like an orange wine. It was just sensational. Absolutely amazing. And it's those little nuggets that somebody that you'd never heard of before, who are small, who are probably quite unassuming, who are making amazing liquids. That's what's really exciting and what I've really enjoyed about doing the book. So that a few of that. Pang Valley down in West Berkshire, brilliant cider maker, Rick Wyatt and his buddy whose name I forget, forgive me. He's been making cider for a while, but under a new guise under Pang Valley. So generally sort of more eastern counties in style, more acid driven, but really aromatic, really clean, really fruit expressive, gorgeous stuff.
Oh, well, two makers quickly before we wrap this up are Wildling, or Wildling, or Wildling and Wilding featured.
No.
No.
Wilding will be featured in the book. And guess which cider of theirs I have chosen?
Did you go for Nemnet Throbwell?
I did. Come on, I need the accent. I need the voice. Come on, Martyn.
Well.
That's not it. Come on.
No, but I'm coughing, so I needed
He's
to
getting
make a
ready.
joke.
He's getting ready.
Drum roll. Here we go.
You're just running past or driving past in a car.
That's what you hear when you're on the motorway and you see Cider George on the phone.
So all up, an amazing experience. Still, I mean, it's only really sort of half done. There is all of the sub edits. There's all of the sort of design construct, selection of photography, placement, all that kind of stuff to come. But it's well on the way. All right then, Martyn, my little strawberry.
Oh.
What's been happening with you this week? The fruit theme, Grant. The fruit theme.
No,
Yeah,
I know.
Okay, just checking.
Okay, it wasn't really much of a pun, though. I was just...
Well, it's just a fruit, isn't it,
I think
really?
he's just looked at me and gone, little freckles, red,
Yeah,
strawberry.
it's been sunny today.
Yeah, fucking too right. Well, I've been basically promoting Happy 4. Little Pomona and I, our blend is finally out. Glade to be played. No, it's glad to be plaid because I turned up to the cidery and for it to be such a focus is odd, but we literally, James was like, oh, you can like this. Blair's probably going to wear that as well. And I was like, oh, cool. And then Blair turned up and it was like, oh, he's got the same top as well. And from the outside, it looks like we had like an, oh my God moment. But really, it was just James going, I'll name the cider after a pattern. So there's a cider that's pretty intense, actually. It's pretty wild kind of character. It's like pretty full on, sort of in between their kind of more tannic, insane, big austere ones and the light citric, juicy numbers. So, just been drinking that and pretty much taking as many photos of the bottle as I can while the sky is blue in Bristol.
Oh, yeah, we've got some. We got the good weather finally here on this side of the pond for our American listeners. Scott, is it still sunny in San Diego?
Yes.
Okay, great.
So yeah, as of now, when the recording's out, it will be released and into the wild. Limited supplies, not by design. That makes it sound like I'm joking it, but it's the blend of 2 barrels, so 500 litres max, so it's only a couple hundred bottles.
Wow. Super
exciting.
Edition.
Available through restock if anyone's listening. But actually, to be honest, by the time this is out, I probably won't have any left. So good luck.
Cider hype. This is something that cider is just so unaccustomed to and is rather exciting. Grant, my gorgeous little prune, what's been happening with...
Oh, hey! Why do... Come on. There's nothing. There's nothing good about being called a prune.
Keeps you regular, right? I think that's...
Yeah, exactly. Makes you shit yourself.
He needs the bucket.
Makes you shit yourself. He's a fucking strawberry and I'm a prune. Jesus. All right, Gabe. Well, that's it, man. I thought we were pals.
Here we go.
Fucking hell. Gloves are off to reveal horrible, shriveled up hands. That'll make you regular when you go to the bathroom. Brilliant. Thanks, man. What this little prune saw this week was...
gorgeous little prune.
Sorry. Okay, as long as you...
Yeah.
Tempered
it
with
the gorgeous.
Prefix of gorgeous.
Wow.
I was alerted to a great story about the Hereford Cider Museum reopening this week after being closed for about a year.
Yeah.
I haven't ever managed to go, but I'm visiting Hereford after the summer in September, so I'm definitely going to go. It's open Monday to Saturday, I think. You can go to their website, cidermuseum.co.uk, book a ticket in advance, pick your date, take everyone you know, because you'll learn a lot. Monday to Saturday. And yeah, I thought it was a really lovely story after probably a very difficult year for a museum of that size and of that niche genre. I'm sure there's larger museums around the country that have maybe not managed fine, but have, can always rely on a wave of customers when they reopen. This museum maybe not being one of them. So go and support the only cider museum possibly in the world, Gabe?
Not only in the world. There are a few.
Not only in the world, in the galaxy.
Star-Lord has not even found one. No, it's not the only one in the world. There's a great one in Asteraga in the Basque Country, just outside San Sebastian. I've been to the Perry one, the Poiré one, and just in Domfront, but there must be other sort of general cider museums there too. So certainly, it's the only accredited, like sort of museums accredited cider museum in this country, and is the premier one, I would say.
Well, shall we do an episode there, but we'll just constantly get shushed when we're recording. So it's
definitely.
Knocking things over.
Absolutely do go and visit. For anybody who's a cider head, it's part of the kind of the pilgrimage you've got to do. It's on the original site where Bulmer's established in 1887, which might not sound like much in terms of the larger maker they've become, but they had such an importance in terms of the modernization of cider and turning it into a drink that could be consumed all around the country and really, really well made. And you can walk around the old cellars where the champagne cider was made. It's quite a magic experience. It's definitely worth a visit. All right, then. Well, now that my book has come to fruition, thank you. Let's make like a banana and split to the news. And now, here at the Neutral Cider Hotel, it's time for the juiciest news in the cider world. But we've got a bit of a twist this week because whenever we are searching for news items, we do find the odd cider one in and amongst all the other news there, but it's mostly hidden and obscured by just thousands of articles about apple cider vinegar, which makes, which is, given that is actually the antithesis of what most cider makers are trying to get, is a double whammy of annoyingness that, it just hides everything.
As context, imagine if you were looking for beer news for your beer podcast and it just kept coming up beer battered chips or beer battered fish and chips every time. It's so frustrating.
It's very, very annoying.
So for the news this week, given that there is this proliferation of apple cider vinegar news items, we thought we might have a little bit of fun and to take those headlines that sort of pop up in the news, remove the words apple and vinegar, and to see what a world would be like if cider got the same amount of airtime coverage and glorious headlines as the vinegar version. So here we go. I'll put on my best salacious news voice. Here we go. Can cider help banish bloating? Simple hiccup remedy using cider. Scott, you saw this one. Have you tried this yet?
No, I have not. I usually try sugar.
Well, just as well. We're going to be talking about sugar later on the show in the fruit cider segment. But what do you do with the sugar out of interest?
Yeah. When I was a kid, I was told to have a spoonful of sugar when you had hiccups, and it would help them go away.
By Mary Poppins.
Wow.
Maybe.
And how are your dentures these days? Are they well?
They clean nicely in the glass at night.
Excellent. There we go.
Can I comment on how hiccup was spelt in this? Is it spelt hiccough in America, in the US?
No, that was me. That was me.
What? So where did that come from?
That came from me because that's how it's spelled in the UK.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah.
Hiccough?
Yeah.
It's spelled H-I-C-K-U-H-P. Hiccup.
Seek.
No.
Grant, how are you spelling it, weirdo?
P-R-U-N-E-U-P.
You seriously spell it H-I-C-C-O-U-G-H?
Okay, so obviously the instantaneous Google answer is that hiccup, H-I-C-C-U-P, is the elder of the two words. Both have been around for quite a long time, and both are interchangeable.
All right, so why are we the etymology podcast? How is this a thing that every fucking time, I swear, this and tax.
Hello, Susie Dent got mentioned 2 weeks ago. We need to get her on as a guest.
We should. I mean, I personally find words and the etymology of them absolutely fascinating. It's great.
Me too.
Well, before we move on, I want to know, do you guys have, what do you guys do with hiccups? Do you have hold your breath or anything like that? Do you do anything?
I try scare myself. So I reel through past traumas and scenarios that I don't want to be in. And it's a nightmare because I've also got the hiccups.
Yeah, you're just anxious.
I have a big glug. I take a big swig of water, hold it in the mouth, and then sort of bow down and stick my head between my legs.
Ooh.
Okay. I do similar, but like someone told me drink from the other side of the cup, and I think they're joking, but that's what I do. But with a beard, you just get it all over your eyes. Yeah. But when you're trying to forget about the hiccups, slightly waterboarding yourself is actually okay.
Yeah, but that's just going through past traumas again, though, isn't it, Martyn? So, yes, same technique, really.
Okay. Let's leave torture behind and get back to cider on keto. Yes, please. 103-year-old woman credits cider and beets for her longevity. Feel full for longer and reduce belly fat with cider. Can cider treat warts? Over.
Sorry.
It's a brilliant
Over
one.
30,000 shoppers praise this cider shampoo for bringing back hair's natural shine.
Cider shampoo.
There
The
we go.
beats. That's a previous guest, surely.
Trying to masquerade as a woman and being hundreds of years old. White strip.
The warts. I can tell you now. No, I can't. Don't put your warts in cider.
Does it actually make them expand and go crazy?
I don't know. I haven't got warts, but I can imagine putting them in a glass of cider
You
isn't going to
sounded
help anything.
pretty. I don't know. You sounded pretty sure of that one.
If the shoe fits, it's me and my little strawberry hands.
I know. Well, me as a prune with my dried up skin, I've been prone to warts in the past. Burn them off, so probably does work if you find a particularly
High acid.
high acid foxwhelp.
Yeah.
Get a
You
foxwhelp.
see?
Dip
So
your finger in a
Found a use
foxwhelp.
for it.
Woo! You are going to be getting the ire of the International Foxwhelp Appreciation Society this week, I would say.
The
Grant.
chieftain knocking at my door.
Should be at you. And so, what do we think to, shampooing our hair with cider? Is this going to bring back a glossy, shiny glow?
It's just going to smell like every party as a teenager, isn't it? Just that. Oh.
I've actually got a weird story related to this.
Sit back, everyone. Here we go.
Yeah. So not long after Jay and I got together, my dad had revealed that he was using apple cider vinegar on his head. He's bald, so he's bald, and he's using it on his scalp for dry skin.
Okay.
And I was kind of like, okay, I don't know if you needed to bring that up just yet, Dad, with my new girlfriend, but cool, we'll talk about it. That wasn't enough. So he decided to, I think it might have been the first time they had met as well, decided to prove it to her by making her smell his head. So he bowed in front of her and said, oh yeah, look. Smell it.
Oh no!
Because we. Oh, that's right. Hold on, that's right. Because we'd said, "Does your head not? Did you not like smell of vinegar the whole time?" And he was like, "No. Have a sniff." I was like, "Dad, Dad, you're.
Don't lick it, Jay."
I know. It was like a caption competition. Yeah. So I mean, I can tell you, if you asked my dad. He would tell you that it helps with your flaky bald scalp. Whether it works with your hair, don't know.
Yeah, as a bald man, the jury's out.
Well, what a perfect way to finish this week's cider vinegar news. Thank you very much. Next up, we're going to be getting to the core of fruit ciders. Now, here at the Nutricider Hotel, it's time for our special feature. And this week, we're going to be doing a deep dive into the world of fruity cider. Maybe a slightly controversial topic, but one that we cannot ignore here at the hotel, because let's look at the bare old stats, the flavored cider. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do one step back. What is a fruit cider? I know that producer Scott, he likes to get the facts set out from the start. So let's start with that. We are talking about drinks whereby the alcohol is derived from the fermentation of apple juice. If you've got the word cider in there, it's fermented apple juice. This is our key. This is our driver. With a fruit cider, it's something whereby there's been the addition of some kind of fruit, actual real fruit, maybe a fruit juice or puree, and in some instances, an artificial replication of a fruit into the cider after fermentation. Although, as we will discover, there's also a bit of a burgeoning trend amongst some smaller producers for adding it in with the initial juice as a co-fermentation. But we are talking about the addition of another fruit in with our cider, and in the in the world, it's the fastest growing bit of the cider category, up 12% over the last over the last 5 years and accounts for 18% of all the cider drunk all over the world. In the UK alone, fruity ciders now account for 35% of everything that is consumed.
Wow.
In the USA, I don't have the actual statistics in front of me. Should have called Dan Pucci. He apparently has done a book about cider recently. But from memory, it's a chunky part, if not quite so high as it is within the UK. Now, it's fair to say that the majority of flavored ciders, of fruit ciders that are available in the UK, actually come down to, the big volumes down to a handful of brands. And we've got a few of them with us today, and we're going to have a little bit of a taste. But as we'll discover, that doesn't necessarily dictate what all fruity ciders have to be. But let's have a taste. Where should we kick off, Martyn?
So let's go for the Strongbow dark fruit. I'm really keen on this one.
So this is the UK's largest selling flavored cider brand. It is the second largest cider brand in the UK after Strongbow Original. And if you put this dark fruit version and the original version together, that would be the third biggest selling pint down the pub after Foster's and Carling. We are talking about some really, really stupendous volumes here. Quite incredible. Let's have a little taste, shall we? Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was expecting much more sugar. I know it says no artificial sweeteners and all this, but I was expecting a lot of sugar. It's actually quite thin, but then it feels like just over diluted cordial. It just tastes like pop.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't taste as sugary as I thought it would either.
It's definitely got a bit of the fruit juice cordial, the Ribena to it. And that is because it quite literally will have had some fruit juice, concentrated fruit juice added to it post-fermentation just prior to packaging.
So, can we talk quickly about how this would be made?
Yeah.
So Strongbow, they would start with just Strongbow, their apple cider.
It would be a base, if not identical in terms of the actual kind of blend, but something very similar. Maybe a little bit more dessert fruit rather than the Herefordshire grown bittersweet apples, the tannic apples that they want, because maybe that flavor profile doesn't sit quite as harmoniously with the softer, fruitier flavor profile that they're trying to achieve. Although, I don't know whether I'm imagining it, but I'm getting a bit of dusty tannin at the back there.
Yeah, dust. It's kind of like a touchy paracetamol-y kind of finish to it. If we're dissecting it and smelling it, but it's one I remember you talking about it, Gabe, earlier years ago now, earlier in the years. But you were saying about ciders made on this sort of big scale. They're not just like, oh, it's this tiny little bit added. They're like that Hereford or like cider apples, but the concentration of it, and it's just the dilution. It isn't like, oh, they're just going to use just Asian dessert fruit and basically con you into saying it's of a place.
No, that's right. But what comes into this? There's a few things to know on the can. First of all, is that to the absolute commendability, they put the ingredients and the nutritional labeling on all of their ciders now, Heineken. So you do know what's going in. So it's up to you as a consumer to decide whether, in order of listing, the ingredients of water, apple juice from concentrate, and sugar prior to getting to the fruit juice bit is something that you want to have. So we're talking about something that's got less than 50% apple juice. I'm not puritanical. I don't say that everything has to be 100% or 90% or even 80%. But when it's less than 50, it starts getting into just ideologically challenging territory for me.
Well, you're buying Brook apples, which, as we know, are water.
We do indeed.
I know we said it's not sugary, or we don't think it's sugary. I'm already getting that feeling at the back of my throat when you have a can of Coke or some other kind of sugary drink. It's already there for me after like 3 or 4 sips.
Well, if you're tasting that now, let's just ramp it up to 11 with our next cider taste, shall we? So if Strongbow Dark Fruit is the most popular flavored cider in the UK, let's try number 2. Grant, what have we got?
Number 2, we have Kopparberg strawberry and lime.
We do indeed.
Kopparberg being a Swedish cider maker, right?
That's right. And it's for Kopparberg that we owe I would say the UK and the kind of the global trend for these highly aromatized and intensely sweet, artificial in terms of actual kind of construct and in terms of the perception of the aroma and the taste. These drinks spawned, sort of launched in the early 2000s, and after the Magners effect, the interest in sort of sweeter, juicier styles of cider, these are the things that really kind of came to the fore. It was at the same time that in the late 90s, well, remember in the mid 90s, there was the big alcopops boom, which is, just a spirit base with some, what originally was actually fermented lemons, but then it was just a lemon sort of flavor with a vodka kind of base. They got taxed to shit, basically. And so, in my humble opinion, flavored ciders that present themselves like this just really, really step into that sort of alcopop by proxy sort of territory, because as we're going to find out, there isn't necessarily a huge amount of fermented cider character.
The ingredients just says contain sulfites. It says infused with strawberry and lime as well. So it's one where it's like it's carefully not saying what's in it really, isn't it?
Well, as a drink still currently in the UK and certainly in the EU, there is no legal obligation for any cider maker to place ingredients listing on their drinks. Any alcohol maker does not need to provide any ingredients listing, and transparency and that openness is something that a lot of people want to open up, and there to be a greater degree of awareness of what's going into the product so that you can make your own decisions. What do we think?
Sweet.
It smells like Lush. It smells like walking into Lush or like a shit candle shop.
It
doesn't smell anything like what I would associate with cider in the slightest.
So with Strongbow dark fruit proclaiming that there are no artificial flavors, sweeteners, or colors, good on them. Kopparberg are not making such a claim here, and I think that we can detect that on the nose. But maybe the most alarming statistic about this cider, we were talking about the sweetness, is that there was a piece of research done by a dental organization. It was either earlier this year, I think, or last year. I think it was earlier this year. To discover just how much sugar are there in certain kinds of cider. And it was, applied to the headline cider. So obviously we had a look at it. And this particular drink, this is in a 500 ml bottle. What's that, about just sort of 17 ounces in the US, Scott? Something like that. This one bottle contains 50.5 grams of sugar.
It hurts my teeth when I drink it.
So 101 grams per litre, which is, if you're in the UK, the equivalent of 13 teaspoons. How would you like your tea, Vicar? With 13 teaspoons? Very good.
13 teaspoons.
I thought you were going to count out like the granules when you went, and it's now 1,800. But I've measured it out and put it into a cider salon glass.
Got it in your glass.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you have a cider salon glass.
Upload that to the Insta, but that's what they wanted when they made these for this event.
What would you normally do with contents of that glass, Martyn?
Am I gonna have to chug this?
Well,
is this?
I mean, let's try it out. I mean, you put it in a glass. Maybe you could have put it in something else. But
I feel that this is just like, if I didn't mock Eleanor and DC, this wouldn't have happened. This feels like
Eleanor, this is for you.
It's karma. Yeah.
This is for you.
It's a butterfly flapping its wings.
He's a way to do it.
Notes of cane sugar.
Oh, he's doing it.
Don't choke. Oh, God. It's going to be like one of those.
Have you got that? Whoa, wow.
It's like one of those YouTube videos of people who eat cinnamon and explode.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Oh.
Come on, keep going.
Whoa, Oh, I'm just going to wash it down with
You got it all in your beard.
Washing it down with some Kopparberg. You brave man. Oh.
I can't.
I can't. I can't.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
That is like...
as we discussed earlier with on an earlier episode, there was the cream egg comparison, which was for every bottle of Kopparberg or Ricardo, like you're essentially eating 2 cream eggs.
Yeah, I delved and I got the stats once again. This is 312 calories, which is 2.5 Krispy Kreme donuts or a McDonald's cheeseburger per bottle.
1 cheeseburger per bottle.
Oh, well, I think that just
That's the title of the
episode. It demonstrates just how many calories there are in a cheeseburger,
and that's
as well.
Yeah. Also, yeah. How much sugar is probably in that? But it's people would go to the pub, right, and drink. I don't know, like
3, 4
of these.
Yeah.
And think nothing of it. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck? You wouldn't go to the pub and smash 8 cream eggs or what was it, 2.5 Krispy Kreme donuts? So that would be 10 donuts.
Yes.
I think I would.
And then go on somewhere else and maybe keep drinking more and smashing more donuts into your face. Like, that's just so strange. Like,
I think it's important that we give Martyn credit for chugging a glass of sugar, right?
Sorry.
I was waiting until he could actually speak again.
Come on.
All I gotta say, my hiccups are gone.
That's science in action, everybody.
My mouth, honestly, like, because I thought it's just going to be like candy floss. Something like that, where you're like, oh, I've had sugar. I'm not a fucking idiot. But that's like, it's like sand that doesn't, your spit just becomes like thick glue. I was like, this is the worst thing I've had in my mouth. Oh my God. Yeah, I thought that would be nicer than it was.
Also, if we're going to, I'm not getting much lime. Gotta be honest.
No.
If we're going to talk about the how they taste, it's pretty strawberry.
Yeah, but it's not even strawberry, is it?
Well,
it's like synthetic sweet strawberry.
Whatever it is they're doing, it's heavy on that as opposed to. It's like opal fruits, or Starburst, and you have a bunch of them, and there's just a kind of, it's just like you say, Martyn, it's just like a sort of sweet, sugary, fruity cocktail in your mouth. It's not like, oh, that's strawberry or that's lime or that's...
It's like Dr. Pepper, isn't it? Where it's tutti frutti flavor and you're like, I can't name any of the fruits in this. This is just sweetness.
Yeah.
Like Vimto's got like the fruit on the front of it as well, hasn't it? Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can really taste that.
You can taste the sweet dark.
Yeah. But then have you had a sip of the Strongbow after that though? Because it's, wow,
so dry. Really
dry
crisp and nasty. I'd put a bit more sugar in it. So, my final one, I've gone rogue. I've gone for Record-Lig watermelon and citrus. I believe you guys have gone strawberry and lime.
We've gone strawberry and lime again.
Okay, how does the strawberry and lime compare on the nose? Does it smell the same synthetic or more? Lime?
Smells horrible.
It smells. If this was in a competition, we would probably all go. It smells a bit dirty, dishwatery, a bit sort of disulfide-y, bit grubby.
Yeah.
It
smells like farts.
It smells a bit farty. It smells a bit drainsy, farty, bit rotten cabbagey.
Wow.
Which isn't great. You can't get that on the Kopparberg because you can't smell anything other than the intensity of the sort of milkshake bottle sweeties. And on the Strongbow dark fruit, you just get more of a sort of jammy ribenery kind of thing with maybe some phenolics in behind. So it's interesting how it kind of comes through. Well, if so, this has been a little journey at one end of the flavored fruity cider spectrum. Let's have a little explore as to what can be done, because in the same way that cider, just straight up apple cider, encompasses a lot of different drinks, from from those that we predominantly talk about on the show to those that are more mainstream, to the cheapest unit of alcohol that can be purchased on the UK high street bears the name cider on it. So that covers quite a gamut of different things. So to say I don't like cider just based upon things at that end of the spectrum isn't a fair reflection of everything. And I would say the same with flavored cider. I don't have an ideological problem with flavored cider. I'm interested in really, really good, fun, exciting, innovative ciders whereby you have a good cider, a good raw material that can be added to it to introduce playfulness and creativity. And we've certainly got that with this drink. Martyn, what are we drinking?
So it's been mentioned on the pod before. Obviously, it was going to make an appearance. It is my blend that I did down at Pilton, In Touch 2. So touched again, as Gabe calls it.
Yes.
This is cider, keeved cider, blended with different vintages, and with a dry cider aged on skins of Bacchus grapes. So there's fruit in there that isn't of cider, so this is technically a made wine in the UK, but all of it is there to in theory marry the tannins of grapes and the tannins of cider. So with the first one, it was Pinot Noir, dark rich red, and the kind of like sort of berryish fruity nose. This one I wanted to play around with Bacchus, part inspired by Once Upon a Tree's Bacchus lees, because I just thought that had like this wonderful kind of elderflowery note. And this is that kind of elderflower, honey, apricot. Oh no! Apricot and aluminum.
Get your missiles out.
Yeah.
No, don't
say that, Gabe.
No.
The Rip Taylor. Get your missiles out, boys! It's cider time. But yeah, so it's an homage to the kind of the whiter side of wine. As opposed to the red, which we had in the first one. So a little less tannic, a bit more fruity, a bit higher proportion of Keeve and John Gold than last time. But guys, what are we thinking?
Well,
I mean, yeah, straight away, wonderful nose. It's got all that Keeved character just jumping out at you, kind of dried fruits.
I'm drinking it at a considerably warmer temperature than I'd think. This is my second bottle of it, not tonight.
It's
my second taste of it. And I think I maybe chilled it too much on the first go, because now that I've allowed it, there is such a subtlety to it, but it comes through really clearly now. The sort of the jasmine perfume, the elderflower, but also with a little bit of the herbaceousness of there. So there's like the tiny little bit of stalk of the elderflowers possibly gone in too. And it's gorgeous.
Well, it's interesting you said that after we're trying it. I remember there's a guy called Matt that I drink cider with, but he was saying, I prefer the first one. I don't like the stalky thing that you get with Bacchus. He's like, I don't like that. Whereas I'm the opposite, where I like that funky little earthy note. There's a bit of Johnny Gold in here as well to brighten it up and lift those kind of more citricy elderflower notes and keep it a bit leaner. But it's an interesting one at how divisive the two are as a set, because I'm just glad that we didn't go down the route of trying to make the first one again, because there's no point in that really. And for me, I actually prefer this one, but Hannah is like, "You're talking rubbish. The first one's better." But I love the whole point is the subtlety. And when we were trying it from the tanks, I was just like, "Oh, this is it." And the big thing to say, the barrel with the Bacchus skins, we tried it over 2 months, I think it was. And every time we tried it, there was a bit of panic of like, is this as good as it's going to get? Or are we going to watch it tail end now? So it was like when do you pull the trigger on this? Which is only really like the second thing I properly made with Pilton. So it's that notion of like, am I what? And I'm glad we pulled the trigger when we did, because I feel that elderflower and that can become real cat pissy very quick. And this is just more bright to me.
Martyn, how do you get to that conclusion when you do the blend? How do you get to a point where you're like, yep, this is where we stop?
Well, a lot of it is just, again, with this, it's with Pilton. So it's down to what supplies he's got of the Keeved and all this and what's available at the time. And pragmatically, this is pasteurized. So we pasteurized early on in the year. So instead of pasteurizing in the summertime when it's warm outside, so the temperature is going to sort of help you along, this was a slog to bloody package. It took ages. So I think Martyn was looking at me going, are you sure you want to do it now? But you taste it, and we've done 3 preliminary blends, I think. But when it tastes and when you go back for seconds and thirds, that's how I go like, oh no, this is clearly the one. If we're all drinking it now, it's done its job. So let's kind of try and package this.
I guess this is like the summer version to the kind of more wintry, by the fire, rich unctuousness of the Pinot is getting contact.
Tell you what, it's got a nice background bitterness at the back of the palate though. It's not flabby in any way. It's not sort of just light and floral and sweety and that's it. Far from it. There's a lot of structure in here. It's just, you can just tell that it's measuring delicacy and having that coming through rather than being something bolshy, which is what, if anybody was expecting that, especially after trying the first one, then it's just that expectation management, isn't it? Of like, it's not necessarily what you're expecting. And if that is not as intense, then maybe that's like, it's not quite sure exactly what's come to pass.
I can't think of an album other than say, not that I am the Kanye West. No, I am the Kanye West of cider, I think. But Love Lockdown, where it's like, it's clearly like, oh, I don't want this. I don't want this at all. I like the old stuff. And you're like, no, I'm on this. But for me, it's definitely that, like the Dabnit single variety. We had a barrel of that as well. So just much lighter, fruitier in a different way. But again, for me, it's exactly what I wanted. And I've seen people be like, yeah, but have you got more Pinot?
We've obviously had a little bit of a UK centric chat this evening. So apologies for US fans if the references haven't kind of hit. The nature and the nuance of flavored cider and what it kind of means and feels is a bit different from the UK to the US, because the UK has got such this old heritage and tradition. Some of the feeling towards flavored ciders are a little bit more stronger. USA, without that sort of longer heritage or certainly recent drinking culture around cider, the opportunity for more expressiveness and playfulness and creativity is there. And it leads to really, really interesting drinks. And although some of these Scandinavian drinks are there, and some of the what I would call the sort of alcopops by proxy are there too. There are also loads of really awesome, fun, creative blends. The Reverend Nat up in Portland, a real sort of pioneer of making ciders for people who kind of like beer, and his like Tepache, his Hallelujah Hopricot. There's an absolute kind of mainstay. I always liked his Brer Rabbit, which was co-fermented with rabbit juice.
Okay,
no rabbits
not
were
vegan
harmed
then
in the making of that cider. Co-fermented with carrot juice, should I say? And there's just so much opportunity for doing really kind of fun drinks. So it's different, it's complicated. There are people who hold very strong opinions in the USA too, that those aren't kind of real ciders and shouldn't be sort of called and treated as such, and that the true epitome of a cider should be something that is only apple and has that revere and respect that a wine would have for the varietal and the landscape, the terroir. And of course, they make brilliant ciders. We've tasted a number here on the Neutral Cider Hotel. But for me, a well-made cider is a well-made cider, and a shit cider is a shit cider. And we've all got to go through the mire to go and try and find them all. Well, there we go. That wraps up our deep dive into the fruit salad bowl of this slice of the cider category. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the intensely sweet. Flavored ciders, fruity ciders, whether for you or not, they are here. They are here to stay. They're going to be an important part of the global UK, US category going forward. And they're going to be continually divisive, I would say. They can provide the opportunity to make some of the most interesting, fun, and creative drinks that we've got. They can also be the opportunity for you to lose your teeth before you're 40 or invoke type 2 diabetes. Let's see what happens first. All right, that'll wrap things up here. Let's get on to the game. And now here at the Neutral Cider Hotel, it's game time. Martyn, what are we doing?
Wow. A little bit of a fruit salad for dessert here, guys. But basically, I wanted to make a game for the two of you where I've gone through a lot of fruit cider reviews on Untapped, which is a beer reviewing site, but they also do cider. And I've picked 4 drinks. So 3 of them are going to be fruit ciders. 1 of them isn't. And you're going to guess what they are. And you're going to get an extra 5 points if you guess the one that isn't a fruit cider. And if you get that wrong, you lose a point. So this might be the first minus game. Yeah, no, but again, I
minus
will
1
be,
each.
Yeah, -4. Fucking you wait.
What is the
-4?
Yeah, I'm going to deduct points as well. If I feel you've got an attitude, it's game over. No, but it's basically I've picked ones that I think will be funny, but also I think there's some good and bad in there. I'll give you what they've written and then their rating review. So like I say, you can pull out the I don't think this is fruit cider, and then I'll tell you if you're right or wrong, but you only get one guess at that. So we have contestant 1 and contestant 2. So who wants to be 1 and who wants to be 2?
Well, Grant, considering that I did call you
Here we go.
a prune, a gorgeous prune, nonetheless, with its number 2 connotations, I will take the number 2.
Oh, you'll take it.
Yeah, I will. You can be glorious.
I can be piss.
You get
Thanks, man.
Grant, do you actually? Let's switch it around. Do you want to be piss or poo? Number 1 or 2? You can choose.
I'm going to stick with poo, actually. Yeah.
So you're number 2. Perfect. So Gabe, you're trying to be a nice guy, but you pruned off the wrong guy. So
I did.
So question number 1. This one here is from Alistair M. And they've said, a nice bit of blackcurrant, pretty bland otherwise though. 3 stars.
Well, I mean, that doesn't necessarily sound all too dissimilar to what we have actually already tasted on the show this evening. And just because it is the UK's biggest selling flavoured cider, I'm going to go with Strongbow Dark Fruits.
Is that correct or incorrect, Scott?
That's what I mean.
I mean, you could see where I was coming from there, right?
Absolutely. 100%.
That wasn't illogical.
No, so for 3 stars, a nice bit of blackcurrant, pretty bland otherwise, Alistair M is drinking Scarlet Sharp by Pilton. Untapped at home.
What? Sorry, not much else. Has he ever drank it before? There's like everything else happening.
All I'm going to say is, welcome to the game, baby.
Flipping heck. Okay.
Wow.
So,
Good luck, Grant. That's shit.
Question 1 for you, Grant. This is true. Perfect cider Weber. Aubergine.
Come on. What?
So perfect cider Weber. Aubergine. 3.75 stars.
Wow.
Aubergine.
So this is the emoji that has other
Emoji rather than the flavor
okay.
profile.
Perfect cider Weber.
Eggplant for our US
Yeah.
listeners.
Yes,
Perfect
thank
cider
you.
Weber. Eggplant.
That's
Aluminum.
That's not.
That's not.
How the fuck?
Welcome to the world of Untapped, everybody.
What are you thinking? Talk us through your mind.
Okay, I'm thinking the aubergine eggplant is referring maybe to the color, so it's something purple.
Good thinking.
I'm not
now
suggesting.
he's dissecting it.
I'm not suggesting that.
It's good.
I don't think that person thinks that it tastes like aubergine.
No, I'll give you that. It doesn't taste like eggplant.
I'll go with the I can't remember exactly what it is, but the Once Upon a Tree rosé, or was it like a
Cabernet Franc?
Cabernet?
Or the Pinot?
Yeah.
So just Once Upon a Tree wine.
Was it a Dabinet Pinot?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that.
Scott, what are we saying? Correct or incorrect?
Oh.
Sorry, Grant. Ben K is drinking a premium cider with strawberry and lime from Kopparberg. Perfect cider with eggplant. So, Gabe, number 2. So, Joe S. King of all ciders. No one can beat this. Sweet, crisp, and oh so refreshing. 5 stars.
5 stars.
Ooh. I'm going to say that is not a fruit cider.
Scott, different sounds here. Is he correct?
Oh, fuck.
So it is a fruit cider, but you've lost a point, but you can gain ground. Think about the king of fruit ciders.
Well, I mean, I was the level of intensity and passion that person was bringing is what a Thatcher's cider drinker brings to the game. I thought it was going to be a Thatcher's haze. It's sweet, it's crisp. I bloody love it, but that apparently wasn't it. Okay, so we're into fruity territory that people love. The crisp bit, the sweet and the crisp. King of ciders. We're going to have to go something more mainstream just because he sounds a little bit deluded. And if we've already had, and I'm just thinking, laterally here, if we've already had the Kopparberg, I would say that the Quarter Leg probably not sweet enough. I'm going to go with the same answer as I did last time. I'm going to go Strongbow Dark Fruit.
So the king of all ciders, no one can beat this. Sweet, crisp, and oh so refreshing. 5 stars. Joe S is drinking mango cider by Lily's at Untapped at Home.
Oh, wow. I mean,
no one can beat this.
King of all ciders.
Do you know what? It does invoke a similar kind of fervor. The mango is particular. The people, they love the mango. They love the bee sting from Lily. Those are the kind of big two.
Well, number 2 for you then, Grant. I hope we've set the table. And speaking of, who lives in a pineapple under the table? 3.5 stars from Travis S. Travis F, sorry. Who lives in a pineapple under the table? 3.5 stars. That's still half a star more than Scottish.
She lives in under the table. See now, my thought process. Obviously, I'm thinking pineapple.
And therefore, we're thinking Mike. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Yes,
everyone's favorite pineapple enthusiast. But also, then I'm thinking, well, is it just a cider that's pineapple-y? Okay, let's go with Hawks Pineapple Punch. Fucking knew it.
So who lives in a pineapple under the table?
This better not be a straight up cider. I'll be raging.
If I said jingly jangly, you would know. Travis F is drinking Pineapple Haze by Original Sin. So no, it isn't.
Right, okay.
No. You've saved yourself a loss of a point. You're on 0.
That's fine. Zero's
Gabe's
fine.
on -1.
Gabe's on -1.
So, very light and fruity. Tasty, though. 3.75 stars. So, Sander S. Very light and fruity. Tasty, though. 3.75 stars.
Okay, so I now think that is not a cider, fruit cider, but I can't get the bonus points for it. But I'm going to continue. But I am going to guess. I am going to guess at a cider that is not a fruit cider because I do not believe it is a fruit cider. That's my thinking.
Okay.
Fruity it may taste like, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it has other fruits added in there.
Oh, man. during the writing of this,
Did you see?
I didn't think that it would be this intense. Aren't you glad that I didn't go even harder? This is like the
totally.
pulled back version. Did you get the 2 puns in there as well?
Yeah, I did. I got one. I got two.
Said man, Durin, and then orange you glad.
Durin, I heard orange you glad, yeah.
Practice that all week.
Such a pro. Such a pro.
Is that hints to the cider?
No. I was just being a fruit twat. And so very, very light and fruity. Tasty though, 3.75 stars. I'm gonna help you because I helped Grant. It is a fruit cider though.
Oh, Think
about ciders. The next question for you as well, Grant. Let me just double check before I commit to this. Think about fruit ciders, not as we know them, but as other people know them.
I mean, that's quite a vague description. It's light and fruity. It's not even got a colour or a particular kind of fruit.
Well, light,
it just
light
smells
maybe is the colour
of fruit. True. All right. So, okay, I'm going to gratuitously take Martyn's very kind little gift of a nugget, and I think I took the hint there in terms of my attire. So I'm going to just shamelessly steal Grant's answer and go Hawk's pineapple.
Scott, correct or incorrect? Very light and fruity. This is from the guy that wrote the book on cider. Very light and fruity. Tasty though, 3.75 stars. Sander S is drinking passion fruit and apple by Old Moot Cider.
Oh God! Wow,
you guys,
is that as inventive as he could?
No, do people go? What's the point in saying anything? Just say it's nice. Meh.
So, Grant, question 3. Sam F. I had a piss in the sink by accident. 2.5 stars. And the same. So Sam F. I had a piss in the sink by accident. 2.5 stars. And this is the same as Gabe, where think about the more commercial side of fruit ciders.
I'm thinking a lot has been drunk. A lot of these has been drunk because he's so desperate he needs to go for a piss. So it's going to be low ABV. So we're not talking like, it's a fruit cider. I think it's not going to be like a bone dry cider at 8% or anything like that, because you drink your bottle, you go for a piss. That's what you do. So this person has had quite a lot of. He's got quite a lot of recorder passion fruit and mango or whatever it is, the passion fruit one.
Scott, can you reveal for us?
Oh.
You were one shy. It was Sam F. I had a piss in the sink by accident. 2.5 stars to tonight's guest, Strongbow Dark Fruit.
No way.
So, last but not least, and you have used your fruit cider question, Gabe. So, this is by proxy. So, the closest thing cider has to a steady rolling man, gamma ray, inconsistent, sessionable drink, would like in can, 4 stars. So, I'll read that one more time. Sarah D. The closest thing cider has to a steady rolling man, gamma ray, / inconsistent sessionable drink, would like in a can, 4 stars.
Ooh, okay. So the extent of my beer knowledge is that we're talking about slightly bigger, juicier, punchier type of IPA. So sort of intense with a lot of body, a lot of structure.
I'm gonna flip you here and say I think you've read that wrong. So Steady Rolling Man. Steady Rolling Man, actually Gabe and I drank when I first moved to Bristol in Wild Beer. Brought over some cans. But Gamma Ray is Beavertown's like core pale ale, 5.4, I believe. Steady Roller Man is designed to be like, have as many.
It's the core.
It's like a really good hoppy core beer.
Sessionability.
Yeah, sessionable.
Okay.
So the closest thing cider has to a Steady Rolling Man / Gamma Ray in consistent sessionable drink would like
Oh, I
in
see.
a can.
Oh, I see. So it's the ease, the accessibility, the tastiness. Would like in a can, which suggests that they haven't drunk it out of a can. I was thinking about the Oliver's cider in a can, but that's in a can. They want it in a can, therefore they're not drinking a can. It's not the can. So what is it? That's a good question.
Is it keg though? Is it keg? Is it bottle?
This
keg.
is a
Yeah.
bottle, I will say that much.
Oh, okay. It's very generous. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So session. I reckon we've been talking, we've mentioned on the show once or twice before, we are fans of this maker and they've done a great job in being able to get out into the supermarkets. Is it Pulped Flair?
Scott, please. Do you know how
full
you were
house
so
of
close, Gabe?
Fuck.
Gabe, when I say this, you're going to see why I was literally shaking my head. So the closest thing cider has to a Steady Rolling Man Gamma Ray. So they know craft beer in consistent sessionable drink. They want something that's easily accessible, but they're into craft beer. They'd like it in a can. 4 stars. Sarah D is drinking Gold Rush from Oliver's Cider and Perry.
Well, there we go. What can I say?
We're not finished yet.
Fuck.
So
This one is for my prune then, definitely. This is the last one. So you got a chance here for something, but a bit bland, but strong. 2.5 stars.
So I'm going to say this is not a fruit cider.
Ah, you get the jingly chimes of joy, you pruny bastard.
Well, the jingly jangly joy, a bit bland, but strong. 2.5 stars.
Bit bland, strong. Would it be a cider that we've had? It doesn't. I don't want to get clues. Net Thrud Well by Wilding.
Oh.
So, Gabe, do you want to swoop in, get this for a point?
Well, I was going to take the complete opposite tack and say that it's not one that's been on the show, that it's something far out there. I'm going Frosty Jacks.
Been on the show.
It's been on the show.
I drank it from a stupid jug. So,
What was
And you do sell it, Grant.
yep. So Philip B is drinking an Albie Hill. From
Oh my
Eve Cidery.
God.
A bit bland, but strong. 2.5 stars. That sounds like when you're describing like K cider or like.
Bit bland, but strong.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I went for the white cider.
What a waste of a bottle. What a waste of a bottle. That is horrendous. On that fucking idiot, Philip. Philip?
Yep, Philip B. The B is
Feel
for
sorry for you, mate.
bastard.
I feel sorry for you.
So, Grant, that means that you win by 5 points to -1. Well, that's not so.
Pretty spectacular. I should have swooped in with Gold Rush as well. I should have swooped in.
Scott, where does that leave us on total games tally thus far?
Let's see. Okay, the latest tally, Martin Goodwin Sharman has 4 wins, 3 losses. Gabe Cook has 6 wins and 7 losses.
Oh.
Damn it.
And Grant Hutchison, 6 wins, 5 losses.
Oh, he's 1 up. How do you be
Yep.
1 up? So I'm 1 down. Martin,
And
you
I'm
won.
one up.
Martin,
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
not played as
Ah,
many though, right? I
fuck.
mean,
Yeah.
On that bombshell, that just about wraps it up for our fruity episode here at the Neutral Cider Hotel. Hope you've enjoyed the chat. Hope you enjoyed listening to Martin choke on 13 teaspoons of sugar.
Yeah,
And if you
never
do-
rhymed me, mate. Fuck it
No.
now.
And if you do enjoy our podcast and want to help, then please do spread the word about the Neutral Cider Hotel. Tell your friends about it and encourage them to listen. You can also follow, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast app. It really does help. Thank you. And please find us on the social media. We're at Neutral Cider Hotel on Insta and Facebook, Neutral Cider Pod on Twitter. And as always, you can visit us on our website to listen or share episodes at neutralciderhotel.com. Lastly, as I say every time, please reach out and leave us a voicemail. We do love it so, with your questions or comments at speakpipe.com/Neutral Cider Hotel. Gents, fruit cider, is it the future?
Yep.
It's the future.
Oh,
Come on. Come
Yeah.
on. You fuck.
tune in. What did you say?
I think you just went, you prune. What's that? Someone cycling
That's a guy
past
on a small
squeaky
wheel.
bike.
Yeah.
That's a
Sounds
someone's
like
got a dodgy fan belt on their 1996.
Do you not have crickets in the
Cortina.
UK? Come on.
Yeah, we do, but that sounded
It's
more
not warm
like
enough.
in the Saw movies where Jigsaw comes around the corner on his tricycle. Would you like to drink a
It's not like
cider?
when you walk into a pet shop.
Yes, it's cockatoo in the front. No, I feel that. I feel that fruit ciders have their place. I think the ingredients listing is important. I think we've hammered it home, but just like, can't wait for more of the peel sessions that we do.
Well, there we go, everyone. Thank you very much for listening to us once again. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Cheers and wassail!